Hello, and welcome to The Mind of a Therapist, a podcast where we interview psychotherapists and helping professionals what they are passionate about in order to provide you with messages of encouragement and hope. The Mind of a Therapist is sponsored by Psychological Counseling Services, PCS, Healing Hearts and Transforming Lives. Please look into our intensive program at pcsintensive.com. I am Dr. Marcus Earle, the Clinical Director of PCS. Each episode will be hosted by me or another PCS therapist. Please enjoy the following discussion. I'm Dr. Marcus Earle, your host, and today we're joined by Bleam. So welcome. Really today in this conversation, what I'm wanting to do is to introduce people to you and just to get a feel for you because I think it helps when clients come in to get a feel for the therapist that they're working with. And so this is an opportunity just to know you a little bit better. Again, there's so much to know about you, so we won't cover everything. So I just ask you, how would you like to introduce yourself to people?
My name is Bleam. I am one of the therapists here at Psychological Counseling Services. I have been here, I started my internship here about 1.5 years ago, and I've been back practicing as a licensed therapist from the start of this year.
So tell me, how did you get into this field? Like, what drew you to therapy?
Yeah. I think from an early age, I was always very curious, and the curiosity allowed me in my own healing journey to kind of dive deeper into a more understanding mindset, into the uncomfortability that was going on in my brain. And through the curiosity, there was more acceptance with that. And being able to have a safe place throughout that journey for me was something that was really motivating. And through that connection, I wanted to be able to give that to other people. And have the space to allow them to be curious about self.
Yeah. I think that's a really cool thing about this work is, we get to be that childlike person who's curious about somebody else. Because I think we tend to lose that. So that's wonderful. And then your own work therapeutically actually reinforced, this is something that I enjoy. So maybe I ought to pursue that. And then I love what you just said in regards to, I want to help people to be curious about themselves. Yeah.
Curiosity rather than confusion or feeling puzzled or stuck in whatever it may be.
Yeah, that's quite nice. So what are you enjoying most about doing the work now?
Oh my gosh. I love being able to show up, first of all. And I think that it's a really good reminder to continue to show up for myself. I love being able to work with clients and to enter into their reality. And again, to have some of that curiosity with that from my part, but also to kind of find space for them. I absolutely love being able to walk alongside people, and it's a really special thing.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. As I'm paying attention to others and learning about them, it's reminding me to do that with myself.
Yeah.
I can honestly say I did not do that as well as I should have early in my career. So I am enthused that that's going on for you, and highly encourage you to continue doing that.
Yeah.
So how would you describe the work that you do with people? I mean, I think you've said that a lot in what you said up to this point in terms of the curiosity and wanting to come alongside people. What else would you add?
In terms of how I work with clients?
With clients, yeah.
Well, I think that there still is a mindset, and maybe I'm wrong in thinking this, but I think that there still is, in a way, a mindset that therapy has to be really intense, and therapy has to be very serious, and there's tissues, and there's tears, and there's snot, and there's all of the things. And part of my work is also to, when you walk alongside someone, there's also laughter, and there's also cheer, and there's also happiness. And so being able to hold space for those celebrations too, I think, is a really important thing. And that's another part of the work that I so deeply love.
Yeah. so is allowing and promoting the balance in life between, where there's sadness and where there's difficulty, there also is joy and happiness, and don't need to just go down one path.
Right. It doesn't have to be so serious.
Yeah. That's a good reminder for me. So thank you. So what are your goals for you professionally?
Oh my gosh. Well, I love EMDR. I absolutely love being able to see clients have the aha moments themselves. And I think that EMDR is a beautiful modality for that to happen. And so professionally, my goals are to continue down the experiential path and getting more trainings in EMDR and internal family systems, which I think, again, goes back to that curiosity and being able to foster that within yourself. And that experiential work is really cool. So that's definitely a big goal of mine.
So when you say experiential work, you mean what?
Experiential work meaning that I'm going to not think so much and I'm going to just feel and allow my body to respond in the way that it needs to in that moment. So experiential work, we're going to listen to the body before we listen to the overthinker parts of the self, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, that's quite nice, because there is so much that we talk about. Sometimes we don't talk about the things we need to, so that can be one aspect of the work. The other is like, how do I get into experiencing what's happening? Because conversation alone just doesn't create the change needed. So that's really cool. And to know you is to be engaged. So you do great with that.
Thank you.
So how would you describe your experience here at PCS?
Oh my gosh. Starting at PCS as an intern and now being a therapist here, from the very second I walked through the doors, my experience at PCS has been filled with support, filled with feeling very seen and feeling very heard, which for me made it so much easier and so much more effortless to be able to give that to clients and to kind of foster that within this environment. So my experience at PCS, while it's been so filled with love and support, it's also been an opportunity to really grow. I feel motivated with all of the therapists here, and it's a really special place to be.
Nice. That ought to be all of our goals, huh? To keep growing.
Yeah.
And sometimes with resistance, but it's always in front of us, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to add that I haven't asked or that we haven't talked about yet?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think we've covered a good amount right now. So thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate you. This was awesome.
It is fun.
Yeah.
Please press the subscribe button, as well as rating and providing a review of our podcast. This helps others to connect with what you have been hearing. If you have any questions, please contact us at themindofatherapist@gmail.com. These questions will be kept anonymous. I want to thank Eric Price for the wonderful music you hear in this podcast. Additionally, this podcast was created to provide accurate and authoritative information on the subject matter. Although we are interviewing licensed therapists, they are not your therapist. This podcast is not intended to serve as direct medical advice and should not be used as a substitute for direct professional help. It is given with the understanding that neither the host, publisher, guest, or PCS are rendering legal, medical, or clinical professional information. If you need a professional, we encourage you to find one. Visit Psychology Today to find a licensed clinician near you.